everyone, we're ready for number 2 of our make and takes for the holiday open house, and this make and take features the Peace and Joy bundle. So let me give you a look at that. All right, so you can find the Peace and Joy bundle on page 18 of the holiday catalog, and there is the stamp set, the dies, and if you purchase both of those together, you can get them in a bundle and save 10%. So here is a closer look at the actual stamp set. And there's just a lot of really fun images on this, and also these great little sayings that you can add on to it. And I'll show you how I use this in my stamped samples. Now with the dies, this is what you're going to get. So you can layer these up all different ways to get the look that you want, but they're really fun to play with. This was actually one of the very first stamps and dies that I purchased out of the holiday catalog because I really loved the look of these dies. So this is just a really fun set. My one little tip for this is, do you see this little white dot right here? Whenever you're cutting the word bright, really watch for that little dot. He gets lost very easily. And it's funny, as I was looking at pictures on Pinterest, I noticed that a lot of projects actually are missing that dot. So once you realize that, you really seem to notice that a little bit more. So let me get started with the project. If you ordered a make and take kit, your project will be either in a white envelope like this or a clear envelope. So everyone's is a little bit different, and so it's almost a surprise even for me to open this up and see what I'm going to get out of here. So just make sure when you empty it, you get everything out. So we have a base of real red cardstock, and then we have our Mossy Meadow and our Whisper White. Now, I intended for the card to be a landscape card, so longer this way, but you can do it however you like. Now, the paper that I've cut for you, the little strip here measures 1.5 by 4 inches. So, actually, I'm sorry. Yes, I believe that's correct. 1.5 by 4. And you can use whichever side of this you prefer. So that's part of the fun part here. So you can decide which piece looks best on your card, and then the same for the circle. Now the circle was cut from that Heartwarming Hugs paper as well, but it is with the largest of the stitch shapes of the circle die. So I think I'm going to turn this over because I'm looking at my samples and I really want them all to be a little different. So I'm going to use a little dot pattern there, and then you have a little strip here. And this one is 1/2 inch by 3.5. So again, you can do that however you like. So if you don't like the way that looks, just start turning it around and see which way you like it better. So I think I'm going to do this. Okay. So we just want to put all of those pieces together. Like I said, feel free to have fun with it. Your other option is, if you don't want a landscape style card, you can turn it this way and just cut this piece down, like trim it 1/4 inch, and you can take that off, and then you can do that same thing down here. You'll have to trim both of these pieces just a little bit to make it fit that direction. So I'm going to start with my piece of Whisper White. And use whatever adhesive you have on hand. You don't have to use this multi-purpose liquid glue, but I want mine to stick really, really well. And I'll show you a little trick I do just to give my cards some more dimension. So I put the white on the Mossy Meadow, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this piece and pop it up from the red. And that just gives it, like I said, just a little more depth and dimension. And I just like the way that looks. So I'm going to put 5 dimensionals on there. I'll peel those off. think I finally got the fly from my first video to quit bothering me. So I'm excited about that. If you were watching the first video, you saw me batting a fly around. My husband was smoking a brisket on Sunday and let in an enormous amount of flies. So that's how I have that. So it just lifts that up a little bit there. Now I'm going to put my red piece on, or it's going to be the green side showing. So we're just going to put a little bit on there. And if you didn't get a make and take packet this time, make sure that you add yourself to my mailing list. All you have to do is go to my blog, which is thestampdoc.com. There's a spot up at the top. There's also a little pop-up that comes up as well. And just add yourself to my mailing list, and next time we do one of these make and take packet events, you can make sure that you get one. All right, so I'm going to put this down just a little lower there, and we're going to put the little strip on there as well. And these papers are so fun. No matter what papers you ended up getting, you're going to be able to make a cute card. So we've got it just like so. And then you're either going to have a white joy for a black background or vice versa. I'm going to put just a tiny bit, hopefully a tiny bit on here. And you'll notice I've got the silicone mat here underneath me. Anytime I'm doing any fine gluing this way, that's just a great way to keep yourself from making a big mess. So I'm going to pick that up and then just layer that onto the background piece. There we go. Get my glue out of the way here, and we're going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this. And the mini dimensionals work pretty well for this too, so if you have those, you can use them instead. Put those on. My finger's getting pretty sticky there. Now I'm just going to put this little joy right here in the middle. Okay, and that is your completed card for the make and take. Now, I did go ahead and stamp some other samples so that I used the stamps in that stamp set. So I'm going to show you what those look like. So here is the first one, and all I did was the little holly berry up here, and then you can see right up here at the top I did this little to the world and cut that out. So just stamp that in black ink, and then the coordinating colors with this are just the real red and the mossy meadow. So just a really cute and quick, easy Christmas card. So you can see that even though these two are, you know, very similar, they're just a little, this one's just a little more stepped up there. And then the other one I did end up doing in more of a landscape fashion, and I love these little stars. I think those are just adorable. And then I've got my to the world on there, so you can see how you can turn that easily and get a different look. So there is your make and take for today, and I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure that if you want to do this for your Christmas cards this year, that you add that Peace and Joy bundle to your order, and I have listed all of the supplies in the description so that you can get those very easily. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back with one more make and take.